when it's recording.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, it's recording now. I've got it. We're going to go on and start. Angela's just has just chimed in, so welcome, Angela. Jonathan's,
Thank you.
pardon me, going to start this off and give some technical information and hopefully assistance to everybody. And then he'll probably take 25 or so minutes and then turn it back to me. I have a few things I want to discuss. We can open for questions, and then we can go forward. Jonathan, you ready?
Yeah, one moment. All right.
There we
There we
go.
go. Sorry about that. Let him turn back on.
Okay, Jonathan, it's all yours.
All righty, thank you. Let me first let me share my screen with everyone. So let's see. So did everyone see my campus web here?
Right, we got it.
Mm-hmm. You got it. Awesome. All right. Well, so what I wanted to again, thanks for having me in your session. I appreciate it. I know that your time is valuable, and I hope that we can have some at least some fruitful and productive conversations, and at least you can pick one little thing away from this tonight. So again, I appreciate the time, and thanks for having me. I'm excited about presenting this to you. And actually, I know that from some of the email conversation, some of the conversation I had with Rick in preparation for the meeting. I know that there was some interest in uploading different types of documents and videos, and different sorts of resources that you can make available to your students. With the newest upgrade, which I know just talking over with Bob, there's a new feature which you may have seen called Moxie Manager, and it's actually it does that very thing. It covers all of that. Or all of those elements. So what I wanted to do tonight was kind of walk through how you can use Moxie Manager and how the way that it stores files, it really is just creating a cloud for you that you can access throughout all of Campus Web. But so I wanted to walk through that with you and make sure that any questions that you had were answered as far as uploading a resource or adding something to Campus Web. And then, we wanted to show you as well how you can embed some different things from outside as well, not using Moxie Manager, but for instance, like a YouTube video or a Prezi or something like that from outside. So anyway, with that, I'll pause and feel free to interrupt me at any moment. I'm completely unstructured in my head at most times, so feel free to stop me and ask any questions that you have if anything comes out. So I'm more than happy to answer. So, but that's kind of the structure of how I wanted to go about things tonight. So with that, if there aren't any questions initially, I'll go ahead and get started and walk you through some of the new features and some of the things that are pretty cool that we can do with Campus Web now. So so again, just to double check, everyone can see that there. So sorry, I'm getting the GoToMeeting out of the way. So as you know, Campus Web here, it's got the new facelift. It's something that you may have seen or may not. The page menu, if you're looking at your window, if it's too small horizontally, you're not going to get that normal left-hand menu that you're used to. So it's kind of, we're saying it's hiding, if you will, underneath this page menu. So there's that normal, the left-hand menu with your units and that sort of thing. Underneath that page menu at the top. And again, my courses, which is usually down there on the bottom left. I've zoomed in a lot here to hopefully so you can see everything that I'm doing tonight. So that's why it's showing that page menu this way. But most of the time, you're going to see that menu on the left. So that's part of the new facelift with Campus Web as well. So this is a course that I was working with Dr. Anu Mitra on for one of the PhD courses that she was developing it for on design thinking. But it's a good space where we've got some content, we've got some things that we can work and play around with. So just initially here on the front page, I wanted to just show you how we can use Moxie Manager. So under this edit content, and this could be a new a new page or a new feature that you've added to any of your units or pages. But basically, it's that text editor area that you're working with. So you've got that new space, and I'm going to add, these are all the elements that we've added already. This is a pretty long one, as you can see. I'm going to add a new element here so that we can kind of start from scratch or start from fresh, if you will. So this display header text, we can add something here. We'll just call this Moxie Manager resources. Okay, so this is our text editor. This is the normal space where your lecture material goes. This is, you're used to this. This is where you're typing your content or adding material, text-based mostly. Some of you use images, as you saw above with the Design Thinking logo. So you've used this before where you upload an image from your machine, just like you're attaching a file, and then you kind of click and drag, and it works okay, but it's not the greatest. So you can still use that if you want, but with the Moxie Manager, it's going to give you some more features, and actually think I'm going to push you towards using this once I show you what it can do. So initially, let's just say I want to do a picture. So what I'm going to do over here on the right-hand side, these kind of far right buttons. After this table one, you'll see there's the insert and edit video, and then there's the insert and edit image. So initially, we're just going to do that one, edit image. This window pops up that says source, and that's where it's looking for, okay, what file or what image do you want me to show? This is the new button right here, which again, most of you have seen. You've kind of clicked around and probably used it. This is our Moxie Manager. So you're going to see that show up a little bit. So, as you're looking at your Moxie Manager, you're always going to see under your ID, so this is my ID right here, everything that you've loaded for all of your courses, all of your groups, if you're in anything like that, which you can actually share material through a group to other faculty. But it's always going to give you the context that you're currently looking at Moxie Manager in, which in this case, for me and for our purposes, is this temporary, WV 8-week template. So that's the course that I'm currently looking at. So when you're looking at it, it's going to be the MGT 425 or whatever your course name is. So that's where I would load. In this case, I'm going to load material to this course specifically rather than to my overall ID. I want to make sure that if someone else hops in here, my chair or another faculty member, they can access this resource as well if I load it to the course folder. So in that case, I'm going to upload a picture. So I'll click upload up here. Local machine is your normal C drive or H drive or wherever you've whatever you've got it loaded. So let's see here. I'm looking for a picture. Let's see if this will work. I don't know if this will show up. Okay, yeah, that's not so bad. So this is actually, let's load this in. So I click upload. I found my image just like you're doing an attachment. You click open and it pops up and it loads into that window. And then I click insert. So if you want me to look at that again in the Moxie Manager, I loaded this image. Once it popped up here in this window, I clicked on it and it loaded it there as my source. So it's going to give it an address. It's the Campus Web. It's loading into our server. So you always have access to it no matter where you're at as long as you have an internet connection, obviously. So we can mess with the dimensions later. You can work with this if you want, but you don't need to. So click OK once you've got it loaded there. And as you can see, so this is, just to explain this, we're working in development servers, basically when we're doing testing with Campus Web. And so I was trying to do a logo that said dev and like a spray paint logo over top of the logo. And this is the beautiful item that I came up with. So as you can see, it's kind of a big image. It's a larger image. It's kind of long. I want it to be a little smaller. So I'm just going to do a little click and drag, make it just a bit touch smaller. And then just like your text, if you want to make your text, justified to the middle, you can do the same thing with your images. So I just put it to the middle. If I want to justify it or align it to the right, same thing. So if I, again, text, I can put that in the middle, and I want my image now to be aligned to the left.
Can we go back to Moxie Manager for a second?
Yeah, I'll head right back there. So that's how I added that image. Let me head back to Moxie Manager. Go ahead.
So I haven't messed with this thing on the side where it has all of them I have got under my faculty ID. I actually should be. You'd recommend that I actually click down below my faculty ID to the course before I upload something into it?
You know, I don't want to say I recommend it. It's really up to you how you want to manage those files.
I hadn't thought about that. I didn't know what it meant over there.
It's honestly, think of it like your own C drive and how you add folders and you know, adjust the way you store your files. That's really how you can look at it. If you're fine with everything kind of being in one place, which it always will be under your ID, everything that you load anywhere, even if it's under a course folder, will still be under your ID.
Okay.
So you'll always have that view. But if you just want to, if you want to target it down to a specific source or course, you can do that. So
okay,
you don't have to. You don't have
That's helpful. Now I understand that piece of the Moxie Manager.
Sure. So I loaded a photo in there. The other thing that I wanted to show you that's really cool about using photos and why I want to maybe steer you towards using the Moxie Manager is that it actually has editing capabilities for documents that you or for pictures and images that you load. So in this case, I want to edit this one. And I'm trying to click on it without selecting it to load it to the course. There we go. So I click the check mark to take it, and I want to manage this image now. You saw that button kind of popped up there.
Yep.
Click that and click edit.
Oh.
And now I've got all these different options over here to manipulate my image. So if I want to, you know, brighten it up a little bit, I don't know if that's going to help anything. Maybe add a little texture there. If I want to, you know, add some of this, make it black and white, add some really sharp colors to it, whatnot. So basically using Moxie Manager gives you some photo editing capabilities that you can always go back to square one, but I think it's kind of a little interesting feature that, you know, folks could mess around with if you wanted to. So anyway, so that's using a photo or adding a photo. You can still do it the same way that you've done it before using this add image function. And again, that just chooses one from your own library here. You open it, and then it adds it to the course where you can kind of click and drag that way. So
where is this showing up? Is it showing up on the first screen that students now see when they come into the course? Is that where you click this? Where did you put it?
Yeah, I think I'm working in that very front screen right now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So let me go ahead and save. That way we can at least have that documented. So yeah, so this is that front page of the course, and because we added a new element, it's always going to put it down here at the bottom. So this is what we've added so far right here.
Okay.
So I'm going to keep editing in this area right here. So the next thing that I want to do is add, and I'm going to delete this. Just not crazy about the way it appears on the front end of things. There we go. So the next thing that we can add to our course is a video. There are a couple different ways to add video. I apologize for that.
How are you doing, Bob?
Sorry about that. Okay. I had to turn my oven off. So, okay. So there are a couple different things to add video. One is and I know that there's some interest in how to record a video or how to record a lecture, and I think our time, when I was talking with Rick, I think our time would best be used kind of showing you this rather than spending it on how to create a video, and I'm more than willing to help or work with any of you to do that. But it's just probably its own session, you know, it would dominate a lot of time just to talk about that on its own. So, all that said, if you have a video that you've created or a file that you have, a video file that you have that you want to load into your course, we can use the Moxie Manager. So what I'm going to do is click the other button, the Insert Edit Video, the one right beside the picture, looks like a little movie film strip. And again, my source, I'm going to click on the Moxie Manager button. And,
Where did you? I don't understand what you just did there.
oh, let me go all the way back. So I'm in this the text editor, and I clicked on to load that photo. I clicked on Insert Edit Image. This time we're going to click on.
So is this before we go to Moxie Manager? This is.
Yes, this is the door to Moxie Manager. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'll click on Insert Edit Video.
Okay.
And then again, here you'll see the Moxie Manager button on all three of these, but the Moxie Manager button, I'm going to click that.
How come mine doesn't look like that? It has. I think mine has Moxie Manager. Oh, there it is. That's what I reckon. That's what I remember.
Yeah, once you click in and get to it, this is what you should see. So.
Okay.
So in this case, I want to load a video, and I think I've done that. I think one of these are a video. I think it's a Roger and Nelson presentation, but basically it works the same way. So I upload my file. So again, let's say you have an MP4 or some sort of video file type that you want to load to your course. You click upload. You find the file within your own folder system. You hit open, and it loads it here to your Moxie Manager. So again, I've done that already. This one right here, I believe, is a video. I'm going to click on it to load it. So as my source, I'll click OK. And now you can see this window. Now it's not showing me an image, or it's not showing me a play button or anything like that. But I can see that my element, my video, is there. So I'm just going to kind of resize this, just make this a touch bigger. And come down here and click Save, the ever important Save button. So now when we go back out after the save and we scroll down, you'll see, crossing my fingers, yes, all right. You'll see I've loaded a video. So this was a file that I had on my computer. I loaded it directly to the Moxie Manager and then clicked basically Insert. And now I have an embedded video in my course from a file that I created or found somewhere else.
So will it actually show itself as the opening screen of the video, or will it be just a few words that describe the video?
Well, this is the actual video. The students or whoever's accessing the space could play the video from their own machine. So I'm not sure if you're able to see it move.
Yes.
But I'm playing the actual video right now.
So when I upload one from YouTube, it'll actually show a screen like that they click on to have run it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rather than a small group of letters like the way we used to do it, where you would go to YouTube.
Exactly. Let's go ahead and look at that now. So let me come back up here to my edit so that we can add a YouTube video. I'm going to show you two ways to add a YouTube video, or this can be any outside resource video that you find. And I'll tell you what you're looking for when you find those videos or outside resources.
Good. Jonathan, would it be appropriate protocol within the box to put some text that says this is what the video is?
Yes. Let me, so lecture material, we'll say this is a photo from Moxie Manager. Let's use the left. And then we're going to say this is a video loaded from, Mike, is this what you're requesting?
You just bring your cursor up above the box to do that?
Good. I'm sorry, I guess I'm not sure what you're asking.
So if you have the start of the video right there that we uploaded from YouTube, say from TED Talks. You
Right.
could actually, you put your cursor above the video, and then you can write right above it.
Yeah, so within this text editor here, yeah, you can type, because currently I've got that video aligned to the left, I can type, I can.
Okay, got it.
Video.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really functions as a text editor. You kind of click and drag and move these things around, and think of them just like elements in a Word document. I know some of you, which is kind of a painstaking process. This should be a little easier than a Word document, but you can add these elements and move them around within. Yeah.
This sounds a lot simpler than it used to be in the old Campus Web.
That's true. And I will say, the more, as we continue to update and the more features that they continue to add into this content editor, it really is, it's not that they're more confusing things, they're just more features that really helps with functionality and building the course out. So I see that we have just about 8 minutes left, so I did want to go ahead and show you loading the YouTube and then loading a document or a PowerPoint from the Moxie Manager as well, and from an outside resource. So I'm going to kind of talk rather quickly, and then I'll be open for questions. And then I know that Rick, you want to spend some time.
Well, Jonathan, don't limit yourself to 8 minutes. Go ahead and take what you need.
Okay. All right. Well, I want to respect our time.
This is useful. Yeah.
Sure. I understand. So let me go ahead. I've got actually YouTube up, and then I had Films on Demand. I don't know if anyone used that. I would highly recommend it. But they've just added, I think, over 200 videos that I need to go through and check out as well. But Films on Demand is a great resource through our library. If you haven't looked at it already, I would really encourage you to check that out. But for ease and for quickness, we're going to do a YouTube video. So there are two things that you can grab from YouTube to get a video loaded. The first thing, let's see, let's find a video here. We have a little bit of animal attacks. So there we go. We'll go with Homer Simpson Live. When you find your video, there are two spaces or two different things two different elements or bits of information that you can grab to import it into your course. The first thing is the embed code. So if you scroll down below a video, you're going to see the share option. You click that, you'll see embed right here in the middle. Right? You click embed, and it's got an already highlighted bit of, this is HTML code, which basically HTML code is what Bill tells all of the internet what to do for the most part. If you see it on your screen, we are now HTML code. I'm going to copy this.
Okay, I've been always using under share. It's sort of a shorter thing. Is it better to use this longer one?
For what I'm talking about right now, yes. I can show you what to use in addition to this in a second, which is using that share. But so what I'm going to do, I'm going to come up here back to my course. This is the content editor area. Click that same insert video. And I'm going to click this embed button. So for up to now, we've been working in this general. Now I'm clicking the embed tab. And it's just a blank space.
Yeah.
I paste in that code that it gave me. I click OK. And again, I can see, and actually this one popped up. So there it is. I'm going to make this just a bit smaller. Actually, I can't do that from here, but that's okay. And again, save. Well, add some text. So your question before, I'm just clicking. I clicked right there in that white space. This is an embedded.
Okay, got it.
YouTube video.
Well, I like this better.
Yeah.
The embed.
All right. So
because so one of the advantages is if you have it right in your course, not all the other videos show up to the right of it, some of which may be inappropriate.
That's right. You're looking strictly at this video or that video or whatever resource you want to get them to. That's what we're looking at. So
I like that.
yeah. the next thing that you can do, and I'm gonna show you this, but I'm not going to save it. So on this video, we just grabbed that embed code. If you're just sharing a link that you want them to click to get to this page, you can use this.
Right.
Other option
Then you've got all that stuff on the right there.
Right. The other option is using Moxie Manager. If we come up here to the top to our web address where the full youtube.com is written out and copy this address, we can come back to our course. So we use the embed code the first time. This time, I'm going to hit that same button. And instead of going to the embed tab, I'm going to stay here on the source. And I'm going to paste that right there.
That's it. So you're in general rather than embed, right?
I hit OK, and because I had my cursor here at the top above lecture material, it inserted it right there. So it works the same way as the embed code. So if you're going to scroll down, this is the one we embedded down here with using that code. This is the one that we use, the link, the direct web address link up here at the top. And again, it inserted it there because my cursor was right there beside the L in lecture material. So I'm going to actually go ahead and delete that one. We're not going to leave that. But I wanted to show you the two ways that you could load YouTube videos. Or any other video that gives you an embed code. I would say that's always your primary bit of information to look for would be an embed code. The second thing would be that link, especially if you're in YouTube, and then there's some other places that'll work. Not all places, but some other places where that will work as well. So,
Jonathan, quick question for you. Because I've used government sites and stuff like that before.
right.
If they update their site, it'll be obvious that the thing doesn't work, and I should go in and find out what their new URL is, and then just do what you just did.
Right. Yeah. Just update that information. Yeah, that's correct. So.
Yeah, there's no way it automatically updates, right?
No, not typically. The only way that would happen is if they've got sometimes folks add a new website or move things, they will add basically a redirect link. So when you go to, let's say, google.com/email, and they've adjusted that and changed that, and that no longer works, but now they're using google.com/user email. Oftentimes, bigger companies, and I don't want to speak for the government, but bigger companies will put what they call a redirect. So when you go to that earlier one or the old address, it automatically pushes you to the new one. So in that case, you wouldn't have to update, but it's always a good idea just to check those links, and especially with YouTube. Excuse me, if you're using YouTube, often those links leave. So it's a good idea just to check those out. So.
Okay, thanks.
Jonathan, I have a question. What's the difference between uploading a video with Moxie Manager and uploading the video the old way? Is there a difference? Like the old way for me is going to YouTube and embedding that link.
I would say the only difference is if you have the actual source file, I would use Moxie Manager. If you don't, and you're just grabbing something from YouTube like we've done, I would continue doing that.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. The last thing that I can show you, or intended to show you, was just how you can use documents as well with Moxie Manager. So again, I'll come to the edit function. And I'm going to...
This might be a link to an article, right?
Well, a link to an article, we would actually use probably the bookmarks folder, or you could actually, you can put it in a hyperlink using the text editor. So if you had the article, you can, let's just pretend that's our article page.
Okay.
I'll come up here, and this little chain link, basically, that is our hyperlink. So I'll hit that, and it asks URL where it wants to go to. So this is our link into a new window. That's one way that we can enter in a link,
I got it.
or we could use that bookmarks folder. So to enter in a document, it's somewhat counterintuitive, but you can use either one of the insert edit images or insert edit video. So we're going to do the image in this case. And really we're just trying to get the Moxie manager. So that's why it's a little counterintuitive, but that's what it is. I've got a PDF here that I'd like to load. And again, so you would load it the same way we've talked about before. You hit upload. It brings up your window, find your document, throw it in here. And it should work with Word documents, PDFs, and I believe there's another file type, but at least those two should work. No, it's PowerPoint. I'm sorry, it would work with PowerPoint as well. So I'm going to click on this PDF to do that one. And again, you can see it adds its own source because it's stored on our server. It's sort of your cloud. Click OK.
Yeah.
And let me scroll down to where it loaded it. Maybe. Save.
Jonathan, this is using the same chain link symbol.
This is actually loading a document, which it doesn't look like it's doing. So I apologize for that. We tested this. It doesn't look like that worked. So let me try one more time. This is always fun. See, this is where I would call the help desk and say, "What's up?" Let's try it. Let's try it this way.
Is it you're trying to add this one?
Oh, let's see. Let me load a new document. Actually, we'll see if we can do it that way. There's a rubric. Okay. All right, there's our rubric. We'll load that in. There we go. So it loaded in here at the top again. You can see it added a box, it added a window. I'm going to come down here and click save. Scroll down to our Moxie manager. Well, I apologize. That's not working like it should. That loaded it as a video. So I will. I'll figure this part out. I know we tested it, but that's not working like it did during testing, obviously. So I'll figure this part out, and we'll get that to you. But in the least, you can use or you can always use the. I'm not sure if she has one in this course, but I got this full page. The handouts portlet to make students have access to documents. You can load as many as you want, or really don't think of it as just a Word file. You can do any type of file that you can load, any type of file that you would want them to have. So you can load into the handouts portlet, and then for links, just like we did on the page there, you can use the hyperlink to where you send them directly when they click on that text, or you can use the bookmarks link, which is the bookmarks feature or portlet, which is you set up a link, they click on the name, and it takes them out to that page. But it kind of works the same way that handout portlet does. So with that said, I will maybe stop and see if there's any further questions. And by all means, I'm more than happy to answer questions offline or during normal hours during the week or Monday through Friday or whenever. So or shoot me an email. So any question you've got, I'm more than happy to ask. But anyway, I'd love to take questions out if you have some, or if you want to look at anything else specifically. So.
Any questions for Jonathan?
Offline, John. I'll probably start working on that one course this weekend. So
Sounds good.
I'll leave the messages.
Okay, Jonathan, thanks a lot. We really appreciate it.
Sure thing. So I'm going to stop my recording part now. You
Okay.
can yours once, but I'll at least have this part. Again, thank you for your time. I appreciate you having me. So.
Okay.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Okay. Okay, I just have about 4 or 5, maybe 5 to 10 minutes, a couple things I want to talk about. I'm not going to put anything up on a screen here. I want to talk about the engagement assignment. We've really done a very good job of setting up engagement assignments. I want to thank you for that, and also reporting NEs as appropriate. I want to thank you for that as well. An instructor, one of our colleagues, did raise an issue with me, concerned that students tend to blow off the engagement assignment. I have to tell you that's not happened to me, but it could have happened to you. What I suggest, if that does occur, put a point value in. I think you all do that, but if you don't put a point value in, point value doesn't have to be great, but it could make the difference between a student earning a C and a B, or a B and an A, or something of that nature. I do want to alert you to the fact that we are moving toward having, pardon me, a standardized engagement assignment that will be embedded in all courses. We talked today at a program chair meeting about allowing the programs to assign a value to the engagement assignment. I've not thought through that process yet. I've talked to my colleagues on the curriculum committee. We'll try to come up with something if we want to do that. One of the reasons we do an engagement assignment, and students really need to know this, this is kind of a federal requirement, especially for people who are getting financial aid. We have to report to the feds by the third week of a course how many people have engaged, those have not engaged, and of course financial aid money comes back. So I know in some cases it's kind of a burden on us to have have an engagement assignment, and students think in some cases that, why have one? But it really is a requirement that the feds put on us. So that's the reason. I think everybody probably knows that. I just kind of wanted to reiterate that. I also want to stop and just say a second, because we're trying to work this out, because it's going to be embedded by the information technology folks, we can expect there may be a glitch. So just be prepared for that. I'm sure they'd come and kill me if they heard me say that. And I don't mean to say that anybody doesn't know what they're doing. It's just one of those things that happens. If you're all familiar with Murphy's Law, you know that. So it is possible. I hope it doesn't happen. I hope we can do this the way we want to do it. Responding to students. We've talked about this before, and everybody's really pretty good at it. We really want to try to make sure we get back to students within 48 hours. As a personal aside, I think it's really more important to answer forum posts within 48 hours. But if you can answer all of them within 48 hours, that's our goal. And I want to tell you why I bring this up. It's distressing for me as an individual, and I'm going to go a step further here in a second, to look at evaluation reports that students put in on instructors and read has not responded in a week, hasn't responded in 2 weeks, or I didn't hear from anybody for the whole term. Now, folks, that's bad enough for me. But the dean can see the same stuff, and I don't need to have him beating me about the head and shoulders. Well, we can do that. I mean, I can be beaten by the head and shoulders for my own recognizance without having somebody else hook on me. What I want to tell you is, I understand that you can't always answer within 48 hours. And if that's going to happen, just send the students a note and say, look, I'm tied up. The alligators are in the pit, and I'm supposed to drain the water or whatever it is. Just let them know you'll get back to them as soon as you possibly can. I want to kind of tag on to something that Jonathan brought up a little bit, and that's library resources. We really have a lot of good resources in our online library. Point students in that direction. If you need help, you go to the union's main page. There's an Ask a Library. Click on the library. There's an Ask a Librarian place, and you can just ask any questions. They're very responsive, and they can do things for you as quickly as you want. And then, of course, you find a video and go back to Jonathan and ask him to help to load the video. Grades. Please make sure that grades are entered when they're due. Usually we have a week from the end of the term. For the most part, that's okay. We really do a pretty good job on that. I just want to like to reiterate that, since we just got through with the system. And if you have to make a grade change and you're really not too sure how to do that, let me know and I can walk you through the process. For the most part, that doesn't happen, but I'm more than happy to go through that. I do want to talk about 2 more items, and I won't keep you more than about 3 more minutes. One is incompletes. I want to make sure everybody understands that none of us, no instructor, that includes me, can enter an incomplete. That's reserved to the registrar. We had a very loose incomplete policy. One of the first things the dean wanted to change, and he did change it. Students have to complete an I-grade petition form and send it to you. And the form has to be filled out, and that includes a signature. Now, if students cannot put a signature in there, tell them to use their email saying, I'm requesting, here's the form, and I'm requesting an incomplete, and the email serves as a signature, and that's fine. That form comes to me based on what you tell me. I'll approve or disapprove that and submit it to the registrar. I also want to tell you and be very clear, the policy spells this out. You are not required to agree to an incomplete. That's your discretion. If you don't think the student deserves to do an incomplete, by all means, stick with that. I'll back you up, whatever you decide to do. There are some parameters. It's on the website, on Campus Web. You can look them up, but let me go over them quickly. Student must have completed 50% of the coursework and must have a passing grade at the time they request incomplete. They have 60 days from the end of the term. So we just finished one, which was the 24th of April, so that would give them to the 23rd of June, 60 days. A change of grade form must be submitted to the registrar within that 60-day period, which we just kind of talked about. If one is not submitted at the end of 60 days, at the end of 10 more days, 70 days, an automatic unsatisfactory will be generated, and you can't do anything about that. I can't do anything about that. If students want to petition for a grade or say, if something didn't happen, let them go ahead and do that. But if you let me know the circumstances, and the circumstances say, no, the student doesn't want it, you don't have to worry about me changing your opinion. I won't do that. Whatever you say is what I'm going to do. And then the last thing, will get us out of here about 15 minutes early, unless you have questions, but I'll be more than happy to talk about, is you should have received a contract recently. One of the things we're asking when you send a contract back is to update your resume and to load that up to the Wink page. Now, here's the reason that we're asking you to do that. Obviously you may have done more things, and we need to capture that. So we have that. And the second part, and the more important part, is the Higher Learning Commission comes for our accreditation visit in February, and we need to have the most up-to-date curriculum vitae on everybody. That brings me to the end of the notes that I have. Two things. I'd be glad to entertain any questions for you, and then I would like to get some thoughts from you before we conclude about doing this again and how soon you would like to do it.
I have a question regarding the standardized engagement assignment.
I'm sorry.
Do you have any?
Go ahead, Angela. I got you. Go ahead.
Yeah. Do you know when this will be effective from? As of?
You mean the new engagement assignment?
Yes.
It will not hit until fall at the earliest.
Okay.
And I want to tell you, and I want to also tell you, I do not know what this is going to look like. There's some back and forth, and I encourage any of you that has an idea of what you think it ought to be, where it ought to be embedded, and maybe what it ought to say, to send a note to Dr. Cacavari and let him know that, this is what you think ought to happen. I'm not saying, he's going to take your suggestion, but I think the more we can tell him, the better he's going to feel about us buying into what's being done.
Hey, Rick?
Yes.
One of the things I took a cue from one of you guys, I forget who, that I changed my engagement assignments to look at the first page and see what the expectations are. That seems to be working out pretty well, because people are now looking at the front page and realizing, because I have a bunch of the announcements from the school posted on things like like what we just talked about with incomplete grades and stuff, and it gets their awareness up as to what their obligations are.
Yeah, very good. Thanks for bringing it up because that was a topic of discussion, expectations in the chair meeting today. So if you have some more thoughts on that, send an email to Dr. Cackerberry or send it to me and I'll pass it along to him.
Okay.
Anything else?
I'm not sure I received my contract. Wonder if I had to check with HR. You just mentioned that contracts have been sent out some time ago.
Yeah, I really was talking about affiliated faculty. You and I are on a different time schedule. We should get ours next month, I think. But I'll be happy to check on that for you.
Hey, Rick, I got mine 2 days ago email.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I appreciate it. We don't have to answer this today, but please give some thought to doing this again. What you'd like to see presented. I'd kind of like to do it before we get to the fall semester. We don't have to wait that long. If you think maybe we ought to wait till maybe middle of September, I'm glad to do that. I'd really hope to had planned to have one earlier. We had one last September, and I planned to have one in December. Unfortunately, I have made a couple of unexpected visits to the hospital, and so I wasn't able to do that. I apologize for the delay. So I would like to do these on a fairly frequent basis, not to bore anybody or just to do it because just to do it. But I think sometimes it's good for us to meet. If maybe if we don't have anything to say, just see each other's face and do a little talking and so on and so forth. I'd like to do something maybe toward the end of July or first part of August. But just let me know what your schedules are and what you think and what you'd like to see covered. I really appreciate that because that's kind of how we tailored this particular presentation. So Jonathan gave us a lot of good technical information. If there's more we need, he's more than willing to do this. He has a hookup. He did this from home. And so, let's take advantage of that because it'll help us all in the long run. Any other one last thing. I am recording this. I'll get that taken care of and have it uploaded to Campus Web on Monday. I'm not in the office tomorrow, and then I'll let everybody know where it is in case you want to look at it again. Any other questions?
Very much appreciate it.
Any other questions?
Great. No, I thought it was helpful.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Have a good night, everybody.
You too.
Okay, thanks, Rick. Angela.
Okay, bye.
Good night.
Yeah.
Bye.